people hate me.
If we both sign NDAs, I'll do it, and we'll never.
But Jesse, I also have to, if somebody brings this up,
painting someone as like a narcissistic, sociopathic, master manipulator, like those words hurt.
She uploaded this video, which brought me a lot of negative attention. I'm saying weird shit now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of GABBIE HANNA. Because there's so much happening, I've waited quite a while and thought about, should I make another video? But there's just too much for me to ignore, and there's so much happening, and I think there are certain parts that not enough people talk about, and I intended to make this the third and last part, for now at least, until she uploads once again. But this part would have been way too long. That's why I decided to make this one part and to record another part next, or maybe the week after next week. Because today I want to explain or just talk a little bit about why it is that GABBIE HANNA tried to vindicate herself and why she did this docu-series. We'll go into that. It's not a docu-series. Shut up. And in the next part I want to get really deep into her videos and just show you where she just contradicts herself. Like I did in my video about Jimmy Snow, I will use her clips to show that she is lying to not only us but herself. And that is why all of this is so unhealthy for her and everyone watching, basically. And before we dive into this, as you probably can see, down there is a new button for memberships. There will be the same perks as in Patreon. I maybe will change up things a little bit here, but I will add those changed benefits to Patreon as well. So regardless if there in the beginning might be tiny bit differences, I will add them on both, so there is no discussion about any of it. So if you want to become a member, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. So in the last few months, GABBIE HANNA released her docu-series. She was announcing for months she filmed a docu-series. It's not a docu-series, okay? Just let's get that out of the way. When you click on any of these videos, it's not a docu-series. These are mostly shitty vlogs paired with revenge videos. I would call it more of a revenge series than anything else, because she started her series with Trisha Paytas and then a big video called Storytime Confessions of a Washed Up YouTube Has-Been, where she basically explains what this series is about and how she gone over it. And she claims pretty different things than what it actually is. In almost every video, the first 30 minutes, 20 minutes, she just talks about random things. She's all in her ADHD, which I don't want to hear anyone mentioning ADHD anymore, because everything she does, even when she's just sitting like this, there pops up something from Google and Wikipedia about,
that's actually my ADHD.
Yes, Gabbie, we know. Everyone has some kind of issue. I have BPD. Do I go on the internet and respond to every comment that is not in favor of me?
I'm sorry, but I am like this because of my BPD, and when you don't like it, you're actually ableist.
No! No, the hell not! My mental health diagnoses have nothing to do with the person I am. When I do shitty things to my boyfriend, when I just blow up at him based on nothing, a few minutes later I go to him and say, hey babe, I'm so sorry, because that was my BPD. And that is wrong, even though I have BPD, even though that's a symptom. It doesn't justify anything. Just to get that out of the way, I'm not ableist or ableist to neurodivergent people. I am neurodivergent. I have a personality disorder. Even that, it is no justification for anything. And when you watch your series, it is a justification for everything. So this series is more of a revenge to everyone she feels has wronged her in some kind of way, regardless what kind of way. But I will talk about that in more depth in the next part. In this part, I want to dive into why she thinks she needs all of this. How did we get to this point that she tries to take down everyone with her that has wronged her 6 years ago? And just so you know, I won't dive into much of the old drama. That's why I have the first 2 parts of this series, so I will link them somewhere here. To understand how we got here, we have to understand how Gabbie got successful. And her success was basically based on following trends on Vine, which is totally fine. I am following trends basically with what I do on my channel. Most of the people are. But you have to know it. You have to know that you're just following trends and you just weren't that original. And after the announcement of the death of Vine, Gabbie and many other big Viners migrated to YouTube. And she migrated into the niche story time, which is totally fine. But again, it was her following trends. The problem is, and that's why I mentioned this 2 times now, was that Gabbie always seemed to think that she did something groundbreaking, that she was this really original content creator, which she just wasn't. She was entertaining and there were many people liking what she did, and that is totally fine. But her audience was, especially on YouTube, more teens and kids, and you have to see when your main audience is, let's say, 12 to 16. In that time span in your life, you don't have a fully developed frontal lobe. It's just a case. That's why those are considered children and not fully grown adults. When you are, let's say, 13 years old and you find a YouTuber that tells stories you like, you idolize them. Everything they do, you think that is awesome. Your critical thinking isn't as developed generally than when you are 18 or 25. So her audience had a very specific idea of who is Gabbie Hanna and what Gabbie Hanna does, and they loved it, and that is fine. But at a certain point, storytime YouTubers weren't as popular anymore because people that liked the content grew up, and the people younger that grew up liked the new stuff. So naturally, most of the storytime YouTubers like Tana, they changed their content, because if you want to stay on top of your game on YouTube, you need to change with the trends, but you have to keep the essence of you, what people like about you. And in Gabbie's case, you could think that she just didn't understand why all of this was happening. Because when the storytime niche eventually died out, Gabbie changed her content more to music, because she apparently assumed that people love her as a person and not the content she makes. And that is a very naive thing to think about, because I know people that watch my videos to a certain degree, they like who I am, because you don't watch videos of a person you hate, except when you're a hate watcher, but I just assume that's not the case with most of the people that watch my videos. But I know when I make videos that are not in the interests of those people, they probably won't watch it. Some of my latest videos weren't very popular. I wanted to make them, but I know that that is not what people that watch my channel want to watch. So I have to adapt to a certain degree, or accept that when I do these videos, they won't do as well as I maybe want to. And that is totally fine. That is what YouTube is. It is a parasocial relationship. But Gabbie obviously thinks her success is tied to her person, to people loving or hating her. In the first video, I think, where she had her mental breakdown about where she thought she was shadow banned, she very specifically said this.
When you look at Butterflies or like any of my music videos and you see those millions and millions of views, right? And then it's like, okay, well, people fuck with my music. And like you're used to your shit performing a certain way. And then Bad Karma, this one that I was like, holy shit, like this is my gem. And then you see it has 700,000 views in a month. And you're like, oh my God, people hate me.
So Gabbie really thinks people hate me and therefore they don't watch my videos. She didn't even consider that just her audience wasn't used to her edgy, dark music style. Her first music videos and songs that were pretty well received were not that dark and edgy. But she changed the style of what she did so drastically that people just didn't want to watch. On top of that, there were many controversies why people on YouTube, just on the bubble of YouTube, didn't want to watch her YouTube videos, because people said, hey, you handled all of this so bad, we're done. She thought, okay, that must mean people believe all these accusations about me, so it's not my fault, it's everyone else's fault. And that is a theme in all of her channel, basically from the beginning. Granted, she has got so much scrutiny over time, and sometimes it wasn't valid, in my opinion. As I said in my second GABBIE HANNA video, the Bianca Devin situation, I don't think it was that bad. It was insensitive, maybe, yes, but it very well could have been an honest mistake. That is where I stand with it. I don't think the drama channels should have went out of their way and make this big drama out of it, but that's YouTube. Yes, Angelica Oles and many other people, they went hard on her. Unfairly, in my opinion, because as I said, to say, oh my God, that's such a nice shirt and her style is really cute, doesn't have to do with how she died. That wasn't part of her video. Yes, she included the article, but she included the article next to the picture because it was together. So I think that was really a fault of the T channels. But you could see, especially in her series now, that that is a point where you can look deeper into GABBIE HANNA's personality. One big part that took a hit at her musical career was the monster meme. You probably all heard some of these.
Maybe I'm the monster that's been here all along. So what if I'm the monster? What if I'm the monster that's been here all along?
Her Genius interview about her song Monster was, let's say, not well received, because there were weird cuts between two microphones that hasn't been an issue prior or after the GABBIE HANNA video. So people have this conspiracy theory that she asked for those two microphones and this cut, and that she maybe wanted to become a meme to gain more popularity, because that was when her success started fading away in her musical career. And in her interview, you hear her talking about that she lost a lot of friends in all directions, and that she should ask herself, when all of those people have a problem with her, is it me? What if I'm the monster?
Monster came at a time when I was feeling like I was losing a lot of people, and it felt like a lot of different people in a lot of different directions, and it felt like I was doing something inherently bad or I did something wrong. And there comes a point, if you're having problems with people, where you kind of have to ask yourself, is it me? The fact of the matter is, in life, naturally people just fall out, and sometimes it's not a fight. Sometimes there's something that happened, you just kind of grow apart, and that's okay. But because of who I am, it's really hard for me to accept that.
Which is very evident in all of her series, because Gabbie apparently connects the losing of friends to the losing of success. She thinks because of all her friends that just dropped her out of nowhere. That is the reason why people don't want to associate with her, because of those accusations. In fact, and through all of the responses from the people she exposed in her series, it's been pretty much clear that those two things were not connected. She lost friends because she was a shitty friend. She acted like an idiot at Joey Graceffa's and Danielle Preda's show on YouTube back then, Escape the Night. She also in her video basically exposed herself. She always said,
Oh, I was horrible to work with, but I have ADHD.
Which again is just the theme. I did something wrong, but it wasn't my fault that I did it wrong. That is GABBIE HANNA in a nutshell. So you can assume that Gabbie connects her dwindling success to the losing of her friends. That is why she tries to fight for people believing her, and why she thinks, oh my god, you really, really need to apologize because you did that wrong, not me. Because she thinks when people believe her, when all of these bad people apologize to her, her career will start over again. Because in her mind, it is all connected. When people believe her, when those people say, oh Gabbie, I'm so sorry I did this to you, she thinks she will be vindicated and she will have this big redemption arc and she can start her musical career once again. But that is not the case. It is her own delusion, her own way of not accepting that she is the one who did the things. Like Joey said,
Gabbie and I were close friends. So when she acts like the victim and is wondering why all these people in her life who claim to be her friends are no longer her friends, you do things, Gabbie, to make people not be your friends. What you did to me on Escape the Night is the reason we are no longer friends, and the reason why I talked badly about you being on Escape the Night. Just because we were friends before that doesn't contractually make me obligated to never say anything bad about you or never not be your friend because we were friends in the past. You did this. You ended our friendship, not me. The way that you acted on set of Escape the Night is why we are no longer friends.
Gabbie even admits in her Genius interview that she has big problems accepting that people might leave her, that friends don't want to be friends with her anymore, and that she has problems accepting it.
But because of who I am, it's really hard for me to accept that.
And I understand that. I have BPD. I really understand that. But that is not the other person's problem. It is yours. The problem is Gabbie cannot publicly admit that she craves people to believe her, that she craves, that she needs people to apologize to her. That's why you see her in a BuzzFeed interview saying, I always dish out apologies, but it's a little bit chaotic that I never get any back. Or that she's in her series saying, oh, I don't want people to believe me, I just want to get it out. I don't need any apologies. But then she talks like this.
But you need to apologize to Bianca's mother. And I know that I will never get an apology from you for what you did to me, for gaslighting me, for making me the scapegoat to your disgusting exploitation. I know I will never get that, and that is okay.
If we both sign NDAs, I'll do it, and we'll never.
But Jesse, I also have to, if somebody brings this up in an interview, I have to be able to say, like, Jesse, I truly want a public apology that says, I'm sorry that I caused her harm, and I did not want to, and I shouldn't have made it public. That is what I want. I have publicly apologized for a situation that should have been private. So I think that it's only fair that you can also extend that same courtesy to me, considering what I've been through.
She's very forceful in demanding apologies. She thinks, okay, you need to apologize. You need to say this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, because she has very specific demands for the apologies, because she thinks then her career will be back again, or that people would like her. But that's not the case, Gabbie. People don't like you because of who you are, how you treat people, how you respond to your own faults publicly. You know, there's so many YouTubers. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, although Logan has changed a fair bit. He isn't that whole shitty person anymore, but still. Nikita Dragon. There's so many people that done so many shitty things that still have a successful career because they respond in a way that doesn't allow people to hate them that much. They either don't respond at all, so the hate will eventually die off because people cannot feed off of anything, or they respond in a just more calculated way. In GABBIE Hanna's responses to every drama there was, it was very evident that she's incredibly insecure and that she needs the attention, that she needs the approval from the outside. And when she doesn't get all of this, it's everyone else's fault. She doesn't do anything wrong. And you should manage your expectations. That is why people don't like you. It's also that you blast out so personal information in the public and don't seem to see that there's a little bit of hypocrisy when you say, oh, I cut out of the 3-hour phone call with Jessie Smiles the part of my trauma because I don't want it in the public. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't add up. All of her past controversies and the response of hers can be summed up in GABBIE Hanna thinks everyone thinks like her. She was offended at Dom DeAngelis when he made a video back in 2016-17, which was called Smash or Pass. I talked about it in a prior video. And in her video reacting to it, she started and said, okay, I just assume everyone will say smash because it would be weird when we meet each other. And in her mind, she thought, okay, they must be thinking like that. I don't want it to be weird, so I would say smash to everyone. But other people are not like this, and that's fine. So Dom the Bomb said, hey, I pass, she's not my type. That was what he said. That's it. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. And in her mind, that's why when she talks about it today, he humiliated me, he degraded me, he dehumanized me. No, GABBIE, he just said she's not my type. The humiliation part was in your own brain because you said they must say smash because we see each other at, I don't know, VidCon, so they must say it because it would be weird otherwise. You were so confident in that, in this idea you had about these people, that when they said pass, you humiliated yourself because you were so sure and you were so embarrassed, but that was within you. You took it to the outside. This humiliation and embarrassment you felt, which is valid, but it's not their fault, it's yours. GABBIE Hanna is a very hypocrisy-filled creator, and I don't think she does this out of spite or just on purpose. I think she doesn't see that the standards she has for herself and the standards she has for everyone else, friends, fans, whatever, are vastly different. She, for example, to every creator out there that has wronged her, she claims, oh, they just did this because it was popular to hate me. Oh, they just did it because it was popular, because it would fit in, because everyone was shitting on me. But she also dropped all those videos on Trisha Paytas when they were under fire because of the frenemies drama. So you did the same thing you're accusing everyone else. It's just very evident that GABBIE has mental health problems, and she admitted to it. Because in the podcast Check Your Head or Check Your Brain, she said this.
Painting someone as like a narcissistic, sociopathic, master manipulator, like those words hurt. That's not the same as saying like your nose is big. Like that's attacking you to your core.
All while she goes on the internet for the last 6 months or longer, calling everyone a narcissist, a narcissistic abuser. Everything that is criticism is narcissistic abuse, and everyone is a manipulator and manipulative, and all of these words. Although she says, oh my god, that's very hurtful. That is so much worse than to say, oh my god, your nose is big. Yes, those things are hurtful, Gabbie. But people call you that because they see what you are doing. They see that you're just projecting everything you do on everyone else. And then you say, I studied psychology. I know what I'm talking about. So you are all this. Although every psychologist will tell you, you yourself, even as a doctor in psychology, you are not educated enough to diagnose yourself or the people around you, because you are biased, because your emotions are in the way of your brain. So when you go around and call all those people those very negative names that you throw around, and not everyone else, like you claim, you throw them around, people that respond to you with those things, they look deeper into it and say, that sounds like Gabbie. That is the problem. You are the problem. You are everything you accuse everyone else of. And it is sad, because you could have had a very good career. And that is why I think it is so important to talk about these things, because Gabbie is a very prominent example of some people shouldn't be very popular or very big on social media, because obviously Gabbie can't handle it. Gabbie could handle all of it until her career went a little bit down. Then she started to troll everyone. Then she started to play the villain or be the villain. She hurt people in real life for her own gain. Gabbie is one of those people that shouldn't have a platform. Her way of distributing information is very dangerous, because in her series, which I will cover in the next video, she oftentimes says, oh my god, they threatened me, and pops up screenshots without any threats in it, because she knows her fans won't watch these videos or won't pause every screenshot and read what she's doing. She's very paranoid, and she probably believes very much of those things that she's saying, but she's so resistant to any criticism of her point of view that she is trapped in her own delusions, and that is very dangerous. She forces so much upon other people and uses her own audience, which I consider dangerous. And when you act like this with a platform of 5.5 million people, you shouldn't be allowed to have those people, because it should be a privilege to have that big of a platform. It should be a privilege to have people looking up to you. It should be a privilege to be able to speak your mind to so many people. And she doesn't treat it like that. She weaponizes everything, and that is wrong in my opinion. So this wraps up part 3 of the GABBIE HANNA series. I hope you did like this video, because I think it's very important. So the next part will take a little bit longer than my other videos, because to put together what she says and when she contradicts herself, as you know, it takes a lot of time to edit all of that together when you think she has done 14 videos by now, and many of them are over an hour long. It takes a little bit of time, but I will, as I said, go deep into GABBIE HANNA's content and show you how wrong she is according to herself. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you did like this video. Please leave a comment down below and hit that like and subscribe button. I am back with my normal content, so the last videos were just a little bonus kind of whatever. But I'm back with my normal content and I am motivated to do more like these videos. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!